I bow to all the seekers of truth. Yesterday we saw the general aspect of Sahaja Yoga and how these modern times are connected to the future and to the past. Because if it is a living process of evolution, then it is a continuous process, intermittent with transformations. But we human beings believe that whatever we achieve through our mental projection is the transformation. For example, when we started to establish our kingdoms, we thought that monarchy will solve the problem, and we adhered to it very much. Later on, we thought it's better to have democracy, or some people thought we should have communism. Some people thought that Christianity would work out. Others thought that Islam might work out. Some thought it was Buddhism that is going to help us, and some thought it is some other religion will help us, like Jainism or Zen. Now, if you really see all these human endeavors from a detached mind, you will find that there is something missing in them. There are psychologists who said that it is the sex energy which is important and we should not be conditioned. So they use their ego to express themselves without any conditioning. And the others who believe that it is the willpower that is important and you must develop your willpower. But one should know that truth cannot be two. It has to be absolute. And the point at which we are today, we are absolutely diversified. So we developed another system by which we say we should be tolerant of everyone. We must tolerate everything. There should be coexistence of everyone. But it is a very precarious imbalance. Any day it may blow off. Every moment there's a danger that the whole thing might blow off. This tolerance might just topple down from this side to that side. India is the greatest democracy. I have seen the democracy part of it. I have seen all the democracies of the world because I had a chance to visit most of them. I have seen most of the totalitarian governments, also the communist regimes all over the world. And I feel all of them have missed the point. In none of these organizations, people are happy. We can see clearly that there is a kind of a dearth. Everyone feels. If somebody thinks that fire is too much to burn the body, you jump in the frying pan. It's just the same. So the so-called tolerance also has no basis. On the contrary, in this tolerance, we might even tolerate horrible people who are demonic. So the modern times, as we see, are full of confusion. No one knows who is right, who is wrong. It is all a relative world we live in. Everyone thinks that they are the best, and at the most, they can tolerate each other. If it is truth, it is not to be tolerated, it is to be enjoyed. So now what is the problem with the whole world today, which is awaiting shocks after shocks? As I told you yesterday, that we have developed our tree outward, very large in size, enormous. But we have not tried to find out our roots. So there have been some people from thousands of years who have been trying to see the roots of human beings. And every time there has been a problem with them, there has been some sort of a guide and incarnation who came on this earth. All over the world, we have got great prophets and great incarnations who came on this earth to enlighten human beings. But as you know very well, all of them were tortured by human beings. The reason is we live with our mental projections, which is all artificial. Not only artificial, it is also a thing by which we do not know where are we. It is a very relative plane we live in, like a balance going up and down. Now the trouble is that so far, whatever development we have done, through our mental projection, thinking this is a good thing. For example, we said we should find out science, everything. All right, so you found out science. And then you said there is no God, let us find out the science. And what did you find out? The most advanced countries like Russia and America has found out bombs and missiles to kill each other. No animal can do such a nonsense. And we justify all our stupidity. Now, if you see on the side of religion, what have we achieved? Those people say, for example, believe in Hinduism. It is said that in everyone resides the spirit. Then how can you have a caste system? How can you condemn somebody as a scheduled caste and a higher caste? At the most, you can say that a person has an aptitude for seeking God, some has an aptitude or liking or fondness for doing business or for politics. But how can you condemn someone from very childhood that you are a scheduled caste, you are a higher caste? It is against the absolute basis of Hinduism. The basis of Indian should be to dedicate all his life to achieve his self-realization. But what are they doing? They are behaving now like developing countries trying to be developed like you, producing plastics. Then we have another religion, we can say, like Islam. The whole attitude towards Islam is extremely fanatic. How can you be fanatic when Muhammad Sahib fought the fanaticism? People are so fanatic that even Muhammad Sahib has got the color as if he was a fanatic. But he was a great incarnation of the primordial master principle. The namaz that he has taught was nothing but the Kundalini awakening. He has described Kundalini as asas in the triangular bone. He has not only that, but he has said about resurrection times so explicitly, so much that you will, if you read it, you will find it is nothing but Sahaja Yoga he has talked about. To such an extent that he said when the resurrection time will come, he talked of future, definitely talked of future. So he was not the last who will do the job then. He said at that time, your hands will speak. I don't know what credit we have given to him by just becoming mechanical fanatics. We cannot establish any religion out of fear. Religion is within ourselves, which is to be awakened. It is the sustenance within us. If it is awakened, we do not do anything that is wrong. In darkness, if we are, we may bang at each other, we may do anything. But in the light, we know relatively how we stand to each other, and there is no need to have toleration. Only the blind have to talk of toleration because they have to save themselves and save others, because they are blind. So there is this kind of a manifestation of such a great incarnation who came on this earth to guide us so well. Let us see what we have done to Christ. We have again made him a mental projection. The one side is the Catholicism, which is just a blind faith, and the right side is the Protestantism, which is just rationality. One is blind and another is limited. We must face it, because if we go on like this mad, our forefathers have gone up like that, our generation is going up like that, tomorrow our children are going to refuse Christ completely. Now some people who are saying that no, we have to have a second birth, as Christ has said. So they are so stupid that they brand themselves as to be realized souls or as twice born or something higher, just brand themselves. Of course they try to lead a life of austerity, but austerity gives you temper. Like the lady yesterday, she was in a temper for nothing at all with me. It is artificial austerity. superimposed feeling that we have to be ascetics. Like I had some hippies in the beginning, and I asked them, why do you want to live like a primitive man? So they said, we want to be primitive because modern man is crazy. We want to have an anti-culture. I said, by changing your dress, your brain cannot change. It has become modern. How can you change your brain now? Some of them did understand that you cannot change your brain by changing your dress or by accepting a kind of a fashion of becoming a hippie. So the true seekers must know that they should not live with artificiality about even thought. I mean, if you go and see the whole world, I was myself born in a Christian Protestant family in India. And when I traveled across, I was amazed to see that those who called themselves Christians, who were saying that we are the true followers of Christians, whom Christ had told, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes, have the most adulterous eyes, and very immoral life. So Christianity has failed to give you that power to be Christians, because by artificial things you cannot transform a personality. When I went to England first, like yesterday, there were people opposing me saying I am Victorian. English language has a capacity to brand people like this. You are Victorian, very old-fashioned. This was about 10 years back. I said, go ahead with your immorality, but you will suffer. Today, now that America, which rejected me, is suffering from a horrible disease called AIDS, no Christianity can cure it. No Bible reading, and no lecturing, and no sermoning, and also no prayers are going to cure it. Only the awakening of the Kundalini will do. Now, so they have taken to another extreme of taking an austere life again. So they are living with opposites. They are living once with a licentiousness and another with austerity. So as I told you yesterday, they are moving in a pendulum. But as I told you again yesterday, that the consciousness, if it has to rise spirally so that you land up at a higher plane. So what is the pinnacle of the whole thing? What is the absolute of everything? That is what we should try to find out sincerely and humbly. But then the question comes that how can we find out? Not in books, not in churches, not in temples, so where? So I say it is within you. Then you would say, but how to enter inside? Your attention is towards me, you are listening to me. But if I say you have to enter inside yourself, you cannot. Under these circumstances, what should we do? So gradually we come to a rock of Gibraltar, we don't know how to cross it. At this time, so many people have come out with solutions in the market. And we also start seeking it in the marketplace. But again, you cannot find out in the market, you can only find out in the temple of your heart. So, what should we do? Now we must think from other point of view, that if God has created this universe, and if the whole human race is the epitome of evolution, He must have done something about it, that we reach that pinnacle. So if we move with that understanding, we can refer to many scriptures about it. Still the words are words. We do not know. Say in 14,000 years back, a poet has written about Sahaja Yoga in India. In the Bible, you read about the tree of fire. You read about saying that I will appear before you like tongues of flames. In the Zen system also, you read that you become a Kashyapa. But how? We believed in people who came that we are the ones representative of the religion, Some of them shaved their heads, wore long robes, and created a big image as if they were representative. From one representative to another representative, when you move, you should see what are their followers doing. But even if you see that, still the rock of Gibraltar has not melted away. So we have to understand that God has made some arrangements within you. Now, if I give you a hypothesis, it is not just my own, it is based on all the scriptures of the world, on all the incarnations, true incarnations of the world, that within us lies the power for you to get your second birth. No use getting angry with me for that. I am giving you a very open proposition that such and such power lies within you, so far sleeping. And the ascent must be understood what should happen to us. As I told you yesterday, when it happens to you, it should happen in a living way, so that you should understand that human beings cannot do it. It has happened spontaneously. And when it rises within you, you can see with your naked eyes in so many people the pulsation moving in your back and jetting out of your fontanelle bone area as a cool breeze. Also, you then find that a cool breeze starts flowing from your hand, or you start feeling the cool breeze all around you. This happens to you, and this cannot be mesmerized or pushed onto you. If it does not happen, it does not happen. You cannot have a false certificate that it has happened. It's no use. You have to have the truthful experience. It has to happen, of course, but you must know that if it has not happened, one has to work it out. And then when you start feeling this cool breeze around, this is the cool breeze of the power of God's love. This is the first time you feel that subtle energy of God, real energy of God. Now this is the energy that does all the living work in this world. But we take everything for granted. Now see, a tree comes before us from a little seed, and an apple tree gives an apple fruit, and a mango tree gives a mango fruit. Who does the choice? Even medically, I can talk to you about it very clearly. Within us, there are two chemicals called acetylcholine and adrenaline. And one of them has to augment and another has to relax. But in the human body, doctors cannot say why the one which is supposed to augment relaxes and which is supposed to relax augments, and how, under what control. Very simple example I'll give you, that in our human body, anything that foreign matter goes is expelled out, or the body tries to expel it. But when a fetus is formed in the womb of a mother, it is not only retained, looked after, but nourished so well till it is ready to be expelled. Who does all that? We take so much for granted everything. If we have risen in our consciousness, say from amoeba to this stage, why shouldn't the doctors and the scientists think why? For example, if I try to assemble some parts like these, you will ask me, what are you making? Then I would say, all right, wait till I make it, and I connect it to the mains. And then the instrument starts working in the real way. So what is missing in all these enterprises? That we are not yet connected to the mains. And that connection takes place when Kundalini rises and the yoga is manifested. This is the spontaneous yoga. And that is what one has to understand, that we should not ask for some sort of a hodgepodge or a potpourri, but have the real thing. You don't know at what precarious point you all are born. If you are still running about after the falsehood, then who is going to save this world? People have their gurus, they have their false guides and this and that, and what will they achieve? I don't understand except for becoming cabbages. Now the time has come for you to become the guru, you to become the leaders, so that you are able to save this world. We are not anymore needed to go through the horrible idea of penance. The Jews denied Christ, and they said that we must suffer. So they suffered nicely. Now do they want more suffering? But after that suffering, they have become so ego-oriented. But what surprises me that even after what Christ has suffered, the Christians are saying we must suffer, as if he has left something for you to suffer. There is no suffering needed anymore. The time has come for you to enter into the kingdom of God. I do not say that you believe me, absolutely not blindly. So, what you have to do is to keep your mind open, because you have to gain, not me. You have to achieve your being, not me. You have to receive your blessings. Yesterday, many people got realization, and they felt extremely joyous. And many of them came and said, Mother, what's a blessing? This is the first time we can now prove the existence of God. Because this is the age of the Holy Ghost, age of the Aquarius, which is represented within us as the Kundalini. Christ has said that I will send you the Holy Ghost. He has clearly said that it will redeem you, it will comfort you, it will counsel you. And what are we doing about it? Are we waiting for a comforter to come in or not? Kundalini is the comforter within us. She is the redeemer in us. And she is the guide within us, because she makes us connected to the Spirit. As a result of your self-realization, you become, again I say, you actualize the consciousness of collectivity. I would like to say that when the people talk of generosity and of missionary work or of helping others, they are sadly mistaken. It is social work. It is not God's work. Don't bring God on that level. Human beings have created problems for them and they are solving it. But why bring God in between? God's work is not of that low-level, shallow stuff. When you start doing God's work after self-realization, you actually don't do anything. But the love of God just flows to another person. A person gets completely cured. He gets absolutely peaceful. He gives up all his bad habits and becomes a master of himself. And he becomes a very beautiful person residing in the bliss of God. Because in collective consciousness, who is the other? When you are part and parcel of my body, supposing, if I have pain in this finger and I try to rub it, whom am I helping? I am helping myself. There is no need to do all these huge big advertisement and these presentations saying that person is doing such a helpful work and all these prizes to be given to such people. Now we have here many Saj Yogis sitting among you. And they can tell you that since they have got their realization, they have never taken a pill, they have never fallen sick, and all the bills of the doctors are saved. Now, I have done nothing. I don't know why they want to thank me. If the sun shines, the rays work out his work. In the whole process, the sun is not conscious of it, is he? So there are no karmas. There is no action. It is all inaction, akarma. And it all works automatically. You don't have to do anything that has to be artificially accepted. So it is such a genuine thing and is the thing now that we all have to have. This is the only way we can prove the existence of God. Correlation of the past, present and future. All the saints and all the great prophets and incarnations can be explained in the light of self-realization. It is the proof of all the manifestations so far which were above our brains. Tomorrow, I hope I'll be able to tell you about the inside story of this mechanism. If there is darkness in this room and you come inside, you tell me that you just switch on with one switch and all the lights come in. It is a very spontaneous happening, and one wonders how it has happened. But one must know behind all this, there is a very great organization which is working it out. And for that, you have to understand the laws of divine and the mechanism of the divine work. As this energy flows through you, it guides you also to verify everything that is said. I thank you very much. May God bless you all.